I recently finished the Saint of Steel series by Kingfisher, and I want to recommend it to everyone. I actually just recommended it to a friend of mine, and not long ago, she thanked me for recommending it because for both of us, it helped us get through the winter blues. This is such a funny and heartwarming series. It's kooky. It's just exceptional on every front and captures every aspect that T. Kingfisher typically has in their books, which is being funny, being heartwarming, and subverting tropes excellently. And in my opinion, this series perfectly captures what a romantasy should be. In my opinion, a lot of romantasies fail because they're putting someone like a princess taking back their kingdom or assassin overthrowing a king. Like, it's a little too close to the center of power and trying to do too big of a thing that the balance between the romance and the fantasy plots feel like too like oil and water and the competing for attention, whereas this series, the fantasy world, feels lived in and complex and layered. And it is lived in and complex and layered because this world exists not only in this series but in like other series, that like the Clockwork Boys and Sword Heart, like they're all existing in the same world, and like you get little brief appearances in these books, but they're their own things. And in this case, this is more of a romance. Like, the beats of these stories are romantic beats. It's a focal point, and it works because also these characters feel more like an average person. Like, they feel more of the small people. They're not kings, queens, like focal point people. Like, they're small soldiers and paladins and perfumers and nuns and things like that. Like, they're the everyday people in this fantastical world. And their romances also are exceptional because, like Kingfisher does, they subvert tropes. Every single one of them are between the ages of 30 and 40. There's no 18-year-olds here, like, and it's refreshing, and it makes them feel real because the things that they're going through makes them feel more human. Like, the aches and pains of getting older and being like, I used to be able to march for days and things like that, or having previous marriages or loves that failed and thinking you're not worthy of it, or other such things. And it's even made worse because the focal love interests in each of these stories are paladins of a particular god who died, which they didn't think could happen. And when the god died, a lot of their fellow paladins went berserk and were either killed or unalived themselves. So there's only 7 left, and they're in this deep depression and just trying to live by day by day and trying to find new meaning in their life, and often thinking that they're not safe to be loved by others because they don't have their god to curb their berserker tendencies because they are fighters. But throughout the series, they learn that they are allowed and capable to be loved, and the female characters too have their own problems and are real people. Like, I really like in the second one, both characters are big. Like, they're very tall and broad and huge, and they have conversations about existing in a world in which they're trying not to scare others. Like, they can't do certain things like other people can do without frightening other people, and what it's like to be always kind of consciously aware of how you talk and how you act and your tone of voice because of your physical size that you can't control. And there are other components too, like she can turn into a werebear and she's a nun, and all these are fun. And also, like, I purposely got the British covers because I think that they look like the classic romance stories and I love them. And like, so we have a paladin and a perfumer, and we have that get caught up in political intrigue as they accidentally stumble upon 2 attempted assassinations on a foreign ruler. We got a paladin and a nun that is a werebear looking for her fellow nuns that were kidnapped. We got a queer love story between a paladin and a necromancer. And then this one actually is my favorite, with a very sexually repressed and by the rules paladin and a spy master who has to lie and be cunning to do her job. And he's someone that, like, just cannot lie to save his life. And they all have inner demons and have their personal battles, and they balance well with one another, with their partners and each other, and help one another get through this tough spot in their life and find happiness and find love. And it's just such a great series that does something that I don't see enough of, I think, in the books that are being published today. Like I said, she subverts every trope that you can possibly think of. Like, you have a paladin you think could be like big and scary and like would say monosyllables and things like that, like very like quiet. But no, like the first one loves to knit, and the second one is extremely kind and warm and gives the best advice, so many things like that. Like, it's fun how this author subverts tropes and makes the stories actually in the end feel more human, feel more realistic, even though it's existing in a crazy funny fantasy story. So like I said, I highly recommend this series. It is excellent. It is a perfect example of what romantasy books should be. It is a perfect balance of romance and a fantasy world without them at any point feeling like they're competing for attention. I love the series. I cannot recommend it enough. Actually, I cannot recommend this author enough. Everything that they put out has been exceptional. I have yet to find one that I have not ranked 4 or 5 stars. Highly recommend that you check it out today.